Hello, and welcome to our Time for Machine Heavenly Hercules Assembly video, Part 8. Now, you remember we were talking about how the gear sets and everything and the propellers were being assembled. This pretty much happens for the rest of the assembly using sheet number 1, number 2, and number 4 all throughout the assembly. Just look at the instructions and make sure that in each step you're using the right gears and spacers if they're being used on each propeller shaft, and then the cowlings that they call out. So here they show the next set of engine cowlings being assembled just like the first set was. And then the forward leading edge is bent over. Another gear set is attached. Then the same sequence is repeated again, sheets 1, 2, and 4, making the next set propellers. With spacers and 2 gears on the back, and then the cowlings. And then bending the forward leading edge over after you get the canopies in place. Then the last set is sheet number 2, where they show you using these last pieces to make the last gear set and the last 2 die-cast gears that are in the kit, and making the final set of connection gears before putting on the last 2 engines. And then sheets 1 and 2 will be used to make 2 more sets of propellers with 1 gear on the back, much like we did before. And then the last set of cowlings from sheet number 4 will be folded over against the bend lines. The forward nose piece will be bent down and then opened up so you can get the shaft into place. And in each case, the openings are made on the airplane to lay the shaft into place, as previously mentioned in the instructions, and then the open part of the cowling will go over the shaft as well, and then both pieces will be bent back into place as you put it together. And in each case, all the gears will end up meshing together. And then they show you bending over the final forward edge, leading edge on the very top center of the wing, and also the rear 2 trailing edges of the wings will be bent over. Then the tail cone section has bend lines that once again aren't shown, but you bend it over and make sure that you have these tabs bent at 90 degrees. It's supposed to be shaped per this contour, but I found that the top is a little bit more beveled than straight across. They show you laying it in, and make sure that you get it through the little slot that's in the tail, so that this slot here goes in under and into this little slot here. And then you can push down and then engage each of these tabs into the little side slots that are shown here on each side. Once they're in place, then you look up under the aircraft and you can bend down the tabs going up in here with like either a small screwdriver or a small pair of pliers and kind of bend down on the tabs to hold it in place, both on the left side and on the right side. And then finally, these two side pieces will be bent in like they show you. And finally, the two pieces on the side that were curled out are now twisted back in and pushed in on either side. Then you take the final pieces from sheet number 2 and sheet number 3 for the tail section. You bend this little tail holding piece 90 degrees, insert it into the tail section, and then slide the tail section into the aircraft. And then once that is completed, they want you to bend both trailing edges of the tail section up, the elevator sections. That'll hold it in place. Now at this point, they're showing you twisting the bottom drive gear, which engages with the base, and make sure that all of your propellers turn freely. Now they don't say anything about oiling or anything like that. If you have a little bit of a problem, you might could put like a little bit of just a little touches of Vaseline on the gears, or perhaps just a tiny bit of oil. I don't think it's necessarily required. As long as everything meshes together properly, everything should work freely. So then at this point, we take the aircraft and we mount it on the previously assembled base. So here's the aircraft in its final assembled condition. Now they've included a cloth so that once everything's all put together, you can actually wipe it all down and keep it all cleaned off. Now the nice thing about this is they kind of show you on the side of the fuselage with these two little marked tabs right here what will line up with the base when it's in place. you can see that the base is engaged with the aircraft. That tail section looks like it's still a little loose, but that's just the way it's assembled. But there you have it. Everything's all completed. This is our final step. And now you can take and slide the lock over to the pilot side so that you can wind it. And then you slide this back toward the passenger side to unlock it and allow the plane and the propellers, everything to run. I hope you've enjoyed these assembly videos, and thank you to Time for Machine, and looks like a nice model. Thank you for watching.